Greetings, everyone. So today I'm going to talk about how narcissists will not acknowledge you. And as I was thinking about it, I guess it's really the same as narcissists will ignore you. So I guess a continuation of ignore. But what I like about using the word not acknowledge is you can count physical actions or non-actions. So if any of you guys happen to look at the Los Angeles Hollywood City Council meeting yesterday, I think it was yesterday, LA Audit, that's her internet name, she was talking to the council members. Man, I was getting so mad just watching it. I'm pretty sure I'd get in trouble if I was out there. One guy in the yellow shirt was just staring off sort of at the guy in the black shirt, who is in the guy in the black shirt was in the middle. Really fucking rude. The guy with the black shirt was looking at his phone the whole time LA Audit was talking. You better know that wouldn't have happened had Streets been in there. But then there was another guy who looks like, I'm sorry, he needs a shower. He's got all like this really long, fluffy hair, black hair, glasses, with his laptop, totally ignoring her. And if you guys don't think that men like this, yes, they're getting paid somehow. Yes, they're benefiting from Scientology. Everybody who's familiar with Scientology knows what's going on behind those doors. So anyone pretending that they don't know can fuck all the way off. So the point I'm making, and I'll get to the acknowledge thing. So when LA Audit, was talking, all of these pricks ignored her. Sorry for my language, guys. I'm just in a mood. And so that's the point I'm making with they won't acknowledge you. Like, in their deluded minds, they think they are so important. And narcissists love to find titles. To have a title like a city council member. Ooh. And then they're going to go home and beat their wife or whatever, you know. So it's like, with the law of attraction, like attracts like. But I happen to believe often the prey is going to go for the predator, the predator is going to go for the prey. So if you're an empath, a narcissist is going to prey off you. So all of these people preying off the manual labor and SA abuse of children in Scientology. Birds of a feather. So the narcissist will not acknowledge you. They will. I remember I had this funny thing happened to me a few years ago. I'd gone to the gym. You know, my numerous attempts to get back there, I just had so many issues going on. And I like to blast my music in my cars or my trucks, whatever my vehicle is. And I was just, trying to raise the vibe and just be happy. I don't remember what song I was blasting. Maybe Lady Gaga or something, I don't know. But one of the personal trainers that walked out from the gym, so my car was on the right-hand side getting ready to make a right turn to go to my, where I live. And I'm here to tell you my music was loud. Yeah, so I guess I am obnoxious sometimes. But I love my music. And, when I'm in the car or the truck, I can play it however loud I want. There's certain music I can't stand, like like the lower vibrational, dark, evil type rap. I can't stand that. I like rap, but I don't like that kind of rap. But, so the point I'm making is, this personal trainer, which I never really liked him, and I think it's because my intuition was telling me he was a narc. So he walks out of the gym that I was a member of, and when I tell you my music was loud, it wasn't like loud like where you guys are familiar with people that play it so loud that like everything around is bouncing, and then that's too much. That's offensive because it can actually damage your ears or your hearing. So mine was just loud enough to, have a happy day. And I was singing and have a good time. This dude, right walking out of the door from the gym, I'm not kidding you, he probably was 8 or 9 feet away from me at the most, not even that much. He was walking along like he didn't even hear the music or see me. Because I would have waved even though I didn't care for him. I would have been cordial. But that's what I mean. Like, narcissists, they're so pathetic. Like, so for him to do that, he's receiving narcissistic supply. But little does he know that I'm very knowledgeable in these things and I don't really care. I laughed about it. Nothing trips him out more that when you understand what they are and you start laughing, they get all freaked out. They don't know. They don't know what to think. But that's just an example that I can think of. I just remember I was like, God, you're just so sad. So there's going to be all different types of scenarios that you are in with the narcissist, whether you really invited it or not. But they're so scandalous and manipulative that their brains are always turning around to create like a set of a movie, and that they're like all the way on the top. They're the best. They're the prettiest. They're the whatever. And then the people around them, they're going to assign a role to those people to enforce their completely insane narrative that they're trying to push. And if you're able to kind of step back a few feet and look at their narrative, you can see how insane it is. I don't know if the narcissist knows how crazy their narratives look to people. Like, if you're very discerning, you will be able to see it. You're like, I'm out. You know what I mean? So, I truly feel that narcissists will be on the hunt for scenarios in which they can ignore you or not acknowledge you. And I just like the wording not acknowledge, because not acknowledging you, another form of invalidation, of course, because that's their invalidation of other people is their fuel. They get off on it. So it's like the fuel that they take from other people. I look at them as an energy vampire. In order for them to feel themselves, ooh, I'm the best, I'm the bravest, I'm the most amazing, I'm the most sexy in the world, I got the highest scores at this university, which usually, by the way, is a bullshit story. It's like they have to announce it to the world constantly. There's that constant again. It's got to be like nonstop. In case you didn't hear him the first time, I went to this prestigious university, and I graduated at the top of my class, and blah, blah, blah. Like, it's different from someone being proud of that. They have to tell people every minute of the day, like all the time. That's their narrative, you see. So they look for opportunities in which to not acknowledge you. And me, where I'm at in my life now, I just laugh. Because I just think to myself, oh my God, are you that pathetic, dude? Like, for real? And nothing bothers them more when you know what's up. Or every once in a blue moon, you might run into a really crafty, manipulative narcissist. I had the terrible experience of working with what I'm pretty sure he was a sociopath. So the point that I was going to get to is there are times where you're so aware of their manipulations and you're like ahead of them, or you're removing yourself from the equation, that they just look at you like, it's a kind of them with them. It's like an awe, like, how the fuck does she know what I'm doing? You know what I mean? Because their brains are so operating on manipulation and disdain and rudeness and cruelties and talking over people or whatever it is, that when people, like a person, can really see exactly who they are, there's a tiny bit of them that admires it. They admire the intellect and they admire that another person is aware of what they're doing, which is weird, but that does happen. So let's just say that, say you're a young boy in 4th grade and you worked really hard on your grades. I don't know how it works now, but I'm going to use an old-fashioned example. You worked really hard on your grades. All of the subjects that you have, you got all A's and 1 B, right? And all you want is acknowledgement from your dad. You come home, Dad, guess what? I got all A's and a B. And your dad will look at you like, yeah, but you didn't make the softball team, did you? And he will deflate all your happiness. They love that shit. They love it. So again, that goes to not acknowledging. And then I think not acknowledging and deflation go hand in hand. Because the name of the game for a narcissist is to exalt themselves into this fake fairy tale world and to push you down to a low status, put you in some type of status that's really not your status. It's just something that they assign to you. I would tell anyone, especially young folks, I would tell anyone, if you're around a person that you just met, like a friend or an acquaintance, a teacher, a babysitter, a neighbor, whomever it is, and they start to tell you, yeah, you're a good little boy. Okay, I'm going to use that example of the freak Francois Coster when she was telling Danny, oh, you seem like such a good boy. Remember that? That was setting the scenario. That was assigning a role. And you really, really, really have to be really on your toes, like really alert for these things. I really wish children could learn about this stuff. I really do. And my heart breaks for any child that has to go through childhood with narcissistic parents. I didn't have that. My dad definitely had his moods, but he 100% was not a full-blown narcissist. He had some anger issues and some cruelties, but not. I've gone over this in my mind over and over and over and over. My heart goes out to children that go through that. So it doesn't matter like what the subject is, what's happening. They will try to find something to knock you down. Well, I was going to tell another story, but I might save that for another video because it's not acknowledged. Well, that happened to me on my college graduation too, by several family members who had all kinds of fucking excuses and really important places to be besides my college graduation that I worked tirelessly for at least, I don't know, 12, 13 years. You know, I was one of those students that took a long time to graduate. So by them leaving, that was not being acknowledged. And in retrospect, I should have gone and hung out with people that did acknowledge me, because I did get the acknowledgement later for people who truly did love me or care about me. But you know, that's how you learn. But it was at the time kind of hard. But yeah, it's when you really think about it, this not acknowledging people is everywhere. And yeah, we can call it ignoring, but for some reason I'm kind of gravitating to say not acknowledge. Because not being acknowledged is a huge deal. Not being acknowledged for who you are, that's a big, huge one. Not being acknowledged for who you are is robbing you of your sense of self. That is such a big deal. Not acknowledging your talents, another way to invalidate. I had somebody do that with my singing. I'm a decent singer. I'm decent. And everyone around me is telling me how great my singing is. The choir leader, she put me as a tenor, which that's a whole story, because I used to be an alto and I can sing a little soprano. But they will take what you're good at and tell you that you're not. And if your sense of self is not really strong or good, you might start to believe it. In fact, Michelle Nieves talked a lot about that. I really liked how she explained it. I happen to have had a previous relationship that was very narcissistic, and back then I didn't know what it was. So it's always about not acknowledging your accomplishment or your accomplishments, not acknowledging your progress. Let's just say, years ago, I've been heavyset and then I've been slim. Now I'm slim just because there's a lot of things I just can't eat. So honestly, that's just not a walk in the park. But like, say that you went out and you lost 20 or 30 pounds, you're feeling freaking amazing about yourself. This could go as for a guy or a girl. And then your so-called husband or your so-called wife will say, well, yeah, but you need to lose 40 more, right? You know what I mean? You'll be feeling all good about yourself and they will fuck it up, man. They will fuck it up. So anytime, honestly, if there's any opportunity that you are around a person like this, get out. Get out. Whether it is a romantic relationship, whether it is a familial relationship, whether it is a so-called friend, whether it is a professor, whether it is a teacher, get out of those relationships as soon as you can. Know who they are, understand what you're dealing with. Like if you've got a professor and you're like, oh my God, just do your fawning or whatever it is that you need to do to finish the class and never take a class with that guy again. Never. They don't change. They do not change. They will never change. I don't really understand the physiology of it. I mean, Dr. Les Carter, I really like him. He's talked about some things that I enjoyed. Dr. Romani, of course. But as far as like why their brains form, I mean, I kind of understand why their brains develop that way, and they're all, I would say most narcissists are victims of trauma. Just a general statement. I never did a research on it, but They don't change. They don't. I think that their brains are formed that way, and then, like, they have learned to survive this way, and they have no desire to change. I really, really wonder if some of these top scientists or doctors or psychiatrists, if there would be any way to treat narcissists with some type of, I don't like drugs a lot, but if there's any way to give them some type of psychiatric drug, or I don't think they could just change from treatment. I don't. Just like if you have a person who's schizophrenic. I mean, I think narcissism is more behavioral, but I just don't think that they could change with just, oh, I want to be a better person. I don't think. So anyways, you guys, always keep that in mind. I'm going to leave one last example. Say that you really like playing baseball. You're a young man in 7th grade. You're pretty good at it too. You kind of work on it yourself because your dad's not real helpful to you. He's too busy, he doesn't have time, or whatever. So you become a very good baseball player. And you go and you do the tryouts for the local softball team. And you get the pitcher position. And I don't remember how all this works, but I think there's like, you got one pitcher and then you got one who's the backup, etc. But you're so good at what you do that the coach puts you in the first position. You come home, you're so excited, you tell your dad, and then he'll just, instead of acknowledging you and saying, son, I am so proud of you, you did such an amazing job, he'll just look at you like, oh, that's good, or something like real nonchalant, like it's not a big deal. And that's where the narcissists break people, unfortunately. So you guys, I hope that you enjoyed this video. I'm definitely going to be recording some more videos. I got some Scientology research to do. And I think some more narcissism videos are on the way. I'm going to practice not talking so fast. Okay, so like and subscribe if you choose. And have a good day or a good night wherever you are. Peace.